I'm Leanne Melissa Bishop with Reservations for Three.
And I'm Michael Mason, also with Reservations for Three.
And what did you...
I'm the producer, or one of the producers, and the editor.
And you're the star.
Yes, and co-writer, and also work with some producing as well.
Very good, very
Yeah.
good. So, first question. Tell me about the spark of inspiration that began all this.
For me, it was really, I believe in creating my own work, and I've been doing that for a while now. And Kelly and I actually, Kelly Perrine, my co-star, we met at a film festival in Manhattan.
Kelly Perrine, by the way, won with us our first year. An award.
So we connected at a festival in Manhattan where we both had films in there, and I was living in New York at the time, and said, oh, well, I'm making it back to LA. When I come, let's hang out. And anyhow, we became friends, and then we were like, we should work together, like everyone says, but we actually did.
Yeah.
So we were trying to figure out what to write about it, and Kelly was like, well, what's going on in your life? And I told him, and I was like, well, what's going on in your life? And then let's just write about that. And it really is about a couple that are trying to figure out their way and what they want next in life. I mean, a lot of women can identify with being in their 30s and trying to figure out, do I want a baby or not? Because my clock is ticking.
Right.
And Kelly's a bachelor and trying to figure out what he wants. And so it was really based on truth in life.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's a universal story. It's something that a lot of couples have gone through. A lot of people understand, they identify with it, and I think that's sort of why it's hit a chord with people, is because it came out of this sort of truth of what was happening in their lives, and it's something that everybody experiences.
Fascinating. My other question is, as usual, what was the most difficult thing to deal with while making this project? What was your biggest challenge? I hear money a lot.
Yeah, money, but for me personally, because I co-wrote it and also starring in it, it was a challenge a little bit to give all that up when I was there on the day.
Yeah, how was that, wearing those two hats?
It was a little tricky, because also, I was the main producer on set that night. Unfortunately, he was out of town, so I kind of had to do it. I'm not saying I did it all by myself, but I mean, I was the one that everyone asked questions to when they came. Where do I go for this? Where do I go for that? Where's hair and makeup? Anyhow, so I kind of had to have that hat on for a while, but then we had a fabulous director, Stephen Bennett, and when it was time to do my scenes, he just made me feel so comfortable that I was able to let go of all that crap. And I shouldn't say crap, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like all
it
those
is
like
crap.
other hats I had on,
Yeah.
and I've worked with him before and trust him so much that I
It's
think
a lot of
that's-
responsibility.
Yeah, for me that was the trickiest thing.
Well, I would say our biggest struggle was the fact that we only had one night to shoot. As she mentioned, I actually couldn't be there. I was in Toronto on a feature that I was working on, and so I couldn't be there during shooting. So I was doing a lot of stuff, from Toronto. I was on the phone, arranging permits and so on. But the fact that we only had the restaurant for one night really put a lot of pressure on Stephen.
And you shot at nighttime.
We
Yeah.
shot over the course of
So
a
it
night.
wasn't even just a day. It was just a night.
It was literally a night. They were very gracious. The restaurant's called Via Loro, just a little plug there, in Beverly Hills. It's great if you're looking for some Italian and you're in Beverly Hills. But they were very gracious, and they let us use the restaurant, but of course we couldn't afford to close them down, so the caveat was, yeah, you have to shoot overnight.
Those were real people around there eating?
No. We had extras, but there are a lot of people in the background. In fact, in a few shots, you'll see sort of yellow lights that are going in the background. And as I think Leanne mentioned in our Q&A, we actually had a construction crew that decided at 5 in the morning. Who knew that there'd be a construction crew in Beverly Hills? But yeah, really, it was just trying to get everything we needed in the course of from about 10 p.m. until about 6 a.m. Which is not a lot. It was a 13.5-page script. So even by TV standards, that's an incredible amount of coverage for a director to get through in one night. And Stephen, to his credit, managed to do it and get me all the stuff I needed to work with in the editing room. So.
And this is a very, very sweet, personal movie. On that note, what do you want people to get out of this when they leave the theater?
For me, I would like everyone to leave with the feeling that you don't have to be cookie cutter, if that makes any sense. Like,
Mhm.
just because the rest of the world's telling you you have to have babies now, doesn't mean you have to. You could wait 10 years, you could decide not to, and have a relationship that way, and it's okay. I want people to leave feeling that, you know, whatever my choice
Mhm.
is okay.
That's good, that's beautiful. Anything you'd like to add?
No, no.
That was just so perfect, I might continue after that,
I
right?
think you said it all.
All right, well.
No, it's good, it's good. Tell me, what can we expect from your both brilliant minds in the future?
Well, lots of things, of course.
Good.
No, right now I actually have a feature that I've written in early pre-production.
Wow, you just don't stop, do you?
It's called What If, so hopefully you will see that soon.
Cool.
But it's about it's a dramedy based on family and about a woman trying to find out what she really wants out of life, and she finds out by accident that she's a birth mix-up. So she always feels like she's the black sheep of the family, and
wow.
then one day, like, oh, I wasn't part of this family. So it's really about what is family really, and is it blood or is it not? So I have that in pre-production, and then we're doing lots with this film, still doing the festival circuit, but we've also had a lot of interest in the characters, so we are working to produce it as a series as well, not the same story, but based on the same
Yeah,
characters.
based on these.
Those two characters are very interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's been a lot of interest, as Leanne said, to sort of continue and to know sort of what happened before, leading up to this point, what happened after, or what happens after, and so,
Yeah, they're very well written.
Yeah, so we're you know, we're looking at developing it into a TV series now. We're working with a writer who's written for a number of TV shows, The Office, for instance, and,
Oh,
and
wow.
so he's
Very exciting.
Yeah, so he's
I
actually
agree,
working
yeah.
with us and we're developing it into a series sort of based on these two characters and having them be the focal point, and then making it more of an ensemble piece and sort of, you know, setting it in a small town with Kelly's character being kind of more of a fish out of water, sort of drop.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, so it should be fun. So we're, you know, fingers crossed, but we're hoping that may get off the ground sometime this year, or at least get into some state of, you know, development with a network or with a production
Perfect.
company, so.
Wonderful.
And the crazy thing is that we never set out for that, you know what I mean? We just, basically Kelly and I both weren't working on another project, so we're like, oh, let's do this little thing, which has turned out to be much more than a
That's
little
the
thing.
best, though. That's
I
the
know.
best when it turns out to be
And
something
we've been
much,
having
much bigger.
so much fun doing the festival circuit, like your
Good.
festival is amazing.
Aw,
and
thank you.
We're having such a great time.
Thank you so much. Well, it's been an absolute honor having you guys. I'm
Yeah.
really, really happy you guys came.